probably be a little bit more careful. I see, for example, some of the supporters of the Labour Party stitching clips from this program and suggesting that I am an enemy of the state. Well, those people are not intellectually capable of a discussion, and so I will not even respond to them. But as I have looked at the elections that we have coming up, and as I have thought about who it is to vote for, I am having a difficulty. You know, Shane, is that my comrade friend Shane? I wonder if I could talk to Shane for just a minute. For just a minute. Give me a minute, listeners. I'm coming back to you, okay? Would you like to share that with me? Oh, Gurfman, I haven't heard from you for a while. Who are you voting for? Have you been seeing the Anderson polls, for example? Have you been following the Anderson polls? They are making interesting reading. Who do you think is going to win the elections coming up? Who you think is going to win the elections? Give me a second. I'm gonna be back with you. Bear with me, okay? We're cranking up late. What has surprised me most is the apparent closeness of the election. I want you to note the word apparent, okay? Last night, Joshua on this program said we do not have conversations. We do not reason. We only respond. And so you must listen to sentences. You see, listeners? Don't listen to words. Listen to sentences. And if you're going to make a response, you have to look at context, and you probably need to look at the paragraph. All right? We are largely a people of headlines. Huh? And we run with the headlines without looking at the story. I am going to say it again. The elections are apparently close. Fascinating stuff. There are many political watchers who feel that by now the Labour Party should have long sewn up the election and the third term imminent. Well, Gurfman?
Yes, neighbor. But neighbor,
how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Give thanks for life.
Yes, sir.
But neighbor, I heard he made a statement, and that's why I actually request to join that. Members of the Jamaica Labour Party, TikTokers, and social media is literally criticizing you, neighbor.
Oh yes, I have come under numerous attacks. It has been brought to my attention that some fellow TikTokers are discouraging listeners from coming here because they say that I'm not supporting the party.
Neighbor, no, neighbor, nothing, neighbor. That's absurd.
Because... No. It is not absurd, sir. It tells you about the intellectual shallowness.
I understand, but
of many of our people. And you know, sir, I'm going to say something. I know them are going to criticize me, but I have told the people who support this program that I can end it anytime. I don't, I can end the program at any time. Hold on, sir. And I have over the past many days wondered, what the hell am I doing up here? What on God's earth have I taken on? You see what I'm saying to you? But one of the things that it has done for me personally is that it has given me a clearer understanding of the challenges that Jamaica faces. You see what I'm saying to you? And it's the challenges of how do we shape the society outside of macroeconomic fundamentals to what I call human development. We have not played we have not played much emphasis on the development of human capital. Because if we did, we couldn't be in the mess that we are. There was great criticisms of some PNP supporters in Hero Circle who were gathered there and were not able to say to a reporter why they were there. And, you know, I sometimes wonder if it was fair criticism, but let that alone.
Let that sink in.
Let it sink in.
Correct.
See what I'm saying to you?
But neighbor, I want to go back to my original point, is that in my humble opinion, right, that I would want to believe that your platform has been accommodating, conducive, welcoming, warm to the Jamaica Labour Party. And that is what I observe.
Let me tell you this, Gerfman. You are to treat people with respect. That is fundamental. And that is why I don't want nobody to tell me about me no labor right or comrade. I am offended by that. I am a Jamaican. And if you want to ask me my name, ask me my name. Don't call me no labor right. And don't call me no comrade. Okay?
Well,
my affiliation, just like how I am affiliated with a church, or I am affiliated with an organization. No, I don't. You don't call me by the organization's name. Okay.
What neighbor? I remember when I first came on your program, you asked me.
Yes.
And I tell you I'm politically affiliated with the People's National Party.
And that affiliation is okay. That
exactly.
affiliation is okay because
and a lot of people take me to task. But I will go back to what I'm saying, neighbor. And I've heard the Joshua, I've heard the KC boss, I've heard the Jamaica girl, I've heard the Philippians, I've heard all these people who are strong supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party, and your platform promoting the Jamaica Labour Party. So I am actually blowing out of the water to hear you say now that people of the Jamaica Labour Party is really burning bad lamp for you. I mean, it seems like people are confused, you know, and strongly believe.
No, sir. It's not confused. It is the polarizing nature of the politics. You know what I'm saying to you? Let me share something with you, my brother Gerfman. Nationwide. And your party does it too, you know.
But neighbor.
But you are not like me, you know. You have the clear. You are not like me. You have the clear. And there's no problem with that.
Right.
Nationwide, sir, is starved of resources from the People's National Party.
Right.
Because they label it as a Labour Party.
Well, JLP FM.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so in the last local government election,
they never spent a dollar with them.
One ad. Never spent a dollar with them. And I don't know if they're gonna do it in this. And you know, Gerfman, that a small radio station like Nationwide would look forward to elections that come about every 5 years.
Right.
In intermittent local election to get some income. No, to generate some income. Just like how businesses wait for Christmas to come around to
for
get
sales and
media organizations
and frankly
also
speaking,
the hypocritical PNP starve them of resources because guess what? They feel that they are leaning towards Labour Party. And I don't think it is fair.
It may not be fair in in from your perspective, from
What
your
do you think? What do you
well,
think? As a
what I will tell you, and I would not even try to match up against a nationwide program. I myself does host a radar program in Florida,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's a brokered station, so we have to pay to go on here. So we have to basically seek sponsors to cover that
Right.
bill. Okay, so I do understand how that works, and at time to time in the diaspora we have conversation about the U.S. election, and at times we just have to basically play just play on par, just be balanced in our discourse, right? But the fact
Right.
of the matter, in Jamaica, it is far known all the time from over the years that particular radio stations or media houses in Jamaica have always been labeled on each side of the political divide. I
But
understand that.
to be fair, Girlfman,
Uh-huh.
there is no campaigning for the Labour Party happening on nationwide, and there is no campaigning for.
Well,
them. No, you mean no. All right, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Power 106.
And that is what I will, and that's where I was getting at, because I strongly believe that radio stations in Jamaica advocate for their political parties. Strongly believe that, and I mean, you said, and you single out nationwide. I mean, when you listen to the presenters on nationwide and certain question they host, for example, I will give you a classic example. Like this morning, I was listening to a newscast of the JTA, the Jamaica Teachers Association. 3 persons are in the race, and one of the candidate happened to be Vybz Kartel's sister, right? And I am saying to myself, she's an educator, and she's vying for the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Why do we need to inject the name Vybz Kartel, that is Vybz Kartel's sister? Yeah, you understand?
But that should be public. That should be public knowledge.
No, it is public knowledge. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It is public knowledge. But Vybz Kartel is not vying to be the president of the Teachers Association. That has nothing to do with Vybz Kartel.
What if it was Mr. Holness' sister?
That is what I'm saying. And if it was Mr. Holness' sister, they would have done the same. The fact of the matter is this: let us present the information for the value of it. We don't need to inject anything, and that is why when you listen to a Power 106, Power 106 is full forcefully batting for the People's National Party. That's a fact.
I'm happy you said that.
And I believe that nationwide bats for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Well, part of the challenge with Jamaica is that it is too small for media houses to take sides, because depending on who is in government, you can suffer.
Correct. And a lot
of people don't know, that government agencies are the biggest buyers of ads,
of airtime. Correct.
Airtime, you think so it's businesses, and you're talking about
agencies.
You're talking about all the ministries.
And one of the reasons for that, I believe Jamaica has over 35 radio stations. Yeah. And people will say it's good for democracy, which I believe that it's just too much radio station in one space.
Small country. Nobody's listening to some of them, sir.
Exactly.
Some of them don't have 5 listeners right now. For example, I was listening to a major radio station who was carrying a live on a Saturday. And there were 5 people up there. 5. I mean,
but I will give you a better joke.
A radio station broadcasting on a Saturday to 5 people online.
Look at News Talk 93 FM.
Uh-huh.
You have Conrad O'Brien. He's on Monday, Tuesday, I think to Wednesday. I'm not quite sure.
No, I think Monday, Tuesday, and Morgan.
All right. Why do you believe that Mr. Senator Morgan is now on News Talk 93? Because News Talk 93 already have a PNP on, who basically bats for the PNP. It is very clear.
Yes,
and then
did you? I don't know if you know this, that and listeners, there was a time in Jamaica, you see, when Perkins Online, the number
one of the most balanced radar program that has ever hit the airwaves of Jamaica, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Wilmot Perkins.
And yes, and Motti's program was by far the most influential and well listened to. It was like 10 o'clock in the mornings.
Yes.
You had to go to Motti.
Correct.
I mean, you went somewhere else afterwards, but
yes.
at 10 o'clock, you want to hear what Motti has to say. And believe me, he has never been replaced, cannot be replaced. There's nobody close to him right now on media anywhere.
Well, neighbor, if you and again, people aren't these radio hosts today are not like a Motti Perkins. They are far from a Motti Perkins, because all of these people have their political affiliation, and nobody could ever categorically clear say Mr. Perkins was a member, was batting for any political party.
But the thing I want to point out to you and the listeners is that Motti was a man with resources. Motti did not really need to depend on the income from advertisement for his program. Mm-hmm. And there were times, listeners, when Motti got no ads from the business sector, business people we're talking about, they starved him of resources because they wanted to get rid of him off the air.
Correct.
Right? They want to get rid of him, and that was government. That was government working with business people. So when I say to you that government agencies are the biggest spender of advertisement on radio, right? And if they starve you, and if they are colluding with business people to starve you, then you know that you are, But if you are going to be objective and independent, it is difficult in Jamaica, sir. It's difficult in Jamaica.
It's not difficult, neighbor. You follow the money.
Follow the money, and that is it. And don't go around it, because information is a business.
Yeah, but a lot of these people in neighbor and social media, and TikTok or whatever, they are blogging and all of that, they don't realize that the media landscape is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I tell people this all the time. This is dollars, this dollars and cents equal dollar sign. So it's all about the money. And when you hear any radio station doing anything and them bringing something live, it's simple. It's because of the dollar sign.
Absolutely. And I tell you this, I notice in recent times that everything that the Labour Party does nationwide is carrying it.
But no, don't say that, neighbor, that everything that the Labour Party does nationwide is carrying it. If you notice, if you listen to the program, it's nationwide. Let it known to you.
No, that's what I mean. That the party is paying. The party is paying for it.
Commercial.
Yeah, hold on. But the party is paying for it. The party is paying for it, right? Which I think it's not a very good strategy, because in my view, nationwide listenership is largely Labour Party supporters.
Exactly.
If you really want to reach people from the middle, you have to put it on other stations. I mean, I don't understand this.
Exactly. There you go. So that is why people, I included myself, frankly speaking, with Labour nationwide as a JLP FM.
I have said it myself that I believe that the listeners are the reason for that, because they are the ones that dominate. If you look at the chats on their live programs, you realize it's but listen, it is fine. We are on the cusp of a general election, and it is interesting to see where the discussions are going. Are you going to be coming home, sir?
No. Well, I come. I get home, and at least 5-6 times per year. I just came back from Jamaica 2 weeks ago, but to cast a vote in an election my vote won't count.
Okay, so the Prime Minister had a closed-door meeting at Belmont Road today, and the Gleaner is reporting that the party has moved from pre-campaign phase and is now into
full drive.
Full drive towards the election. You suspect that the election is going to be about July?
I want to believe that we are now in the month of June. I believe the election will be about August, in the latter part of August, because July, remember, neighbor, July it's July is a lot of party going on in July.
Graduation.
We're talking about Sunfest, you know.
Okay.
We're talking about different events around the carpet area, and keep in mind the donors of the political party don't want their operation to be disrupted. So the logistics around it. The Prime Minister is no idiot, you know. Believe you me, and the committee, because if you know who in charge of the treasury and where they are getting their donation from is the same set of people that all in these major entertainment events, and so forth. So they're not going to want to get into the July, you know, the July and then August, you know, independence early and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. So I suspect the election is going to be late August, and they are not going to go into September because September is the reopening of schools. So they don't want to disrupt that flow.
Yeah. So it therefore means that we are less than 2 months from going to the poll.
Most definitely. So I anticipate it is going to be in the middle, in the third week in August.
Third week in August.
I would suspect. I would anticipate that.
Yeah, and Gerfman, I have reasonably, listeners, bear with us. I have been thinking very seriously about this election coming up and how, you know, every election since me born have been consequential. But this one, I think, has some features that are very unique, and therefore a lot is being watched. People are watching it a lot to see what is going to come out of it. I get the feeling, Gerfman, that in the minds of Jamaicans, they feel that the government has performed reasonably. It's not spectacular, but that there is a reasonableness about the performance. Do you see that? Do you get that feeling?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely that the government has performed. I would say more than reasonable.
Wow.
But who are the people that believe so? That's the big thing.
Before we get up, but before you get there though, because I want to press you on that just a little bit more, because you are moving beyond me, and listeners, this man has declared himself as a supporter of the People's National Party, and he is saying that he believes that the government has performed more than a little creditably. For example, Gerfman, when the opposition spokesman on security, national security, is suggesting that the government should take no credit for the crime, that cannot be a good reflection of on the PNP, sir.
Okay, I mean the government. I mean, we cannot separate the police from the government.
So you're laughing at Mr. Boynton, right?
No, I didn't tell her that, neighbor. I didn't tell her that. What I'm saying to you, yes, you cannot separate the government from the government from the police. But what I will tell you is that certain things that people praise government for, like roads, healthcare, crime. Frankly speaking, when a government takes the office and you are the ruling government, these are things that you are expected to do. It's inevitable. That is what you are elected to do. So you should.
But then if it is reversed, the government is blamed.
Well. Again.
We're going to be pothole free.
If the results are
in
not
2003.
favorable, if the results are not favorable, yes, the government will take the blame. I do understand that.
People will vote out government.
Yeah, and people
if them
will
vote bad,
but
and then don't have water, and crime is in the country.
But you must
People
also
vote out
keep
government.
in mind,
Gerfman, if murder in Jamaica was 20% above last year, and if we were killing people left, right, and center in Jamaica, the government would be under pressure.
Yeah, but neighbor, as I
Who
say,
would you blame? Would you blame the commissioner?
No. Well, someone like myself, I believe, and I will say this wholeheartedly. The previous commissioner, regardless what somebody will say that he was there, Billy putting in the work. I believe that the previous commissioner, Anderson, a man coming from the military, a stellar career military officer. Right?
No, sir. We know. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
A stellar military career officer. He did well in the military. When he retired from the military, he went in and advised the former security minister, Bobby Montague. Then he went in and advised the office of the prime minister on crime. Then he became commissioner of police. I would have expected his first year as the commissioner of police that crime should have went down drastically. And that's just me. I am just one person, but hold on. So what I'm saying is this. The same roads, the same infrastructure, the same crime, the industry of the criminality, many of these people, right? Many of these people who are the policymakers really don't participate in these same roads, on a day-by-day basis, like the common man on the street who have to compete in the space. So I am saying is this: we talk about the government has done well, and I will say this without no fear, without no bias whatsoever. The government has performed, and the government has performed, but for whom though is feeling the prosperity of the performance of the government? Not everybody across the board. And that is my issue.
Nor could it be equitably distributed at the same time, sir.
I would want to believe if the government is performing, it should be able to be distributed on a level playing field.
Not equitably.
Yes.
No, sir. Because those persons who have access to capital, those persons in the upper echelon of society.
It wouldn't be equitable at the same level, at the same portion, because you have, like all you neighbor, you have more access to capital than myself.
No, I don't have any access to capital. I don't.
All right. But what I'm saying, just an example. People have different level of accessibility to capital. But what I'm saying,
levels of training and education.
And levels of training and academics and all of that. So we don't expect someone with a master's degree or a PhD and someone with a bachelor should be earning the same money as the person with the PhD.
Yes, sir, and it is so in every society.
No, we don't accept that because it is so in every society. But I will say this, neighbor.
And it is so in every society.
No, neighbor, you cannot say that it is so in every society.
You are saying to me that there are societies, sir, where everybody is equal on the social ladder?
No, everybody is not equal. But there are societies, even in Jamaica, there are people who don't have an high school diploma versus someone who has a PhD, and the person without that high school diploma is and this is earning more money legally, no illicit enrichment of any illicit behavior, and the person at the PhD level is earning their wages and their keeps, and the man who really don't have that high school diploma legally is doing much better financially than someone with a PhD.
Yeah. How would you compare this government to to previous governments in terms of performance, Gerfman? How would you compare the Holness government to previous governments?
How would I compare the Holness administration to previous government? I would say that the previous government has set a platform for this present government to run with it. And I believe that this present government ran with it. And did well with it. But while they are doing well with it,
Jamaica girl.
Noisy. There are certain sectors that it has been forgotten. For example, crime is down.
Sorry. No, you're moving fast. So you are saying that in comparing the government, you are crediting previous governments for laying the platform.
Most definitely.
So that this government could build on that, eh?
Correct. And I believe this government has built
for example, give me some examples of things that the government has built on.
Like,
because
for example, fiscal responsibility.
Calm down, listeners. Calm down. Governing is a continuum.
Correct.
That's why we have permanent secretaries. You hear? The permanent secretaries don't change.
Exactly, and they carry on the work for the people. They carry on the work for the ministries.
So when Christoph Dunn take over the decks down at the Ministry of Health, it's not a blank slate him take over, you know. Uno must be fair. There are contracts that are signed, there are projects that are ongoing, things are happening. Governments can change policies over time. Did you hear Mr. Mark Golding in the last budget? Golding said that his presentation was not a budget, you know, for this fiscal year, because he couldn't make a budget for this year. In my words, because one was already set. So even if the PNP wins the next election, there are several things that are just set, you know, can't change. A little bit of adjustments here and there.
Yeah, but neighbor, your JLP supporters will not believe it.
Huh?
And here it is that.
What do you mean they won't believe it?
No, they won't believe that, neighbor.
But it is not so. So you think that when government changes, everything changes? The staff.
No, your JLP supporters are saying today that if Mark Golding was to win the election, Mark Golding will come now and change everything, and that can't be the case. And I'm glad you mentioned to them that there are contracts that are already in train, contracts that are already signed, people need to be paid, and what are you going to do? No government never scrap anything. They change policy.
Well, do you understand, sir, that Bruce Golding, I don't know why I'm freezing up here. Bruce Golding did something fundamental, you know, and I think both administrations should be commended when they put in the fiscal rules.
You know,
I hear, for example, Julian Robinson, the opposition spokesman on finance, saying that should the PNP win, that the PNP would continue with the macroeconomic stability.
But your JLP supporters don't.
Hold on. Let me add something.
In other words,
let me add something to here. 3 major things took place in 2010, which the PNP tried to sideline, they tried to rewrite and make it look like that did not happen. The Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2010, we had the green paper for the tax reform. So we were looking at how we could reform the tax system to make it more efficient, that the government and the people of Jamaica could benefit. So that started under the Jamaica Labour Party. And JAMDEX, that was a major transitional program for the people of Jamaica. When we did the first initiation of JAMDEX, neighbor,
you mean the
Jamaica Debt Exchange.
The debt exchange.
When we did that, we saved $500 million per day on debt payments. That's how much we saved. That was significant.
There was actually 2, right?
3. PNP carried out the other 3, the other 2. But they renamed it. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, but never.
It was renamed, but it was the same thing. You know.
It's now 9:48. I mean,
8:48. 8:48 in
I
Jamaica.
wanted to ask the government, is the Jamaica Labour Party responsible for the current reduction in murders in Jamaica?
Repeat that again. I didn't hear the question.
Is the Jamaica Labour Party as a government responsible for the reduction of murders in Jamaica?
All right. I'm glad they asked me the question. If does the Jamaica Labour Party government, and I'm going to answer this in this way, right? And whether or not you want to take it the way you want to take it, you take it. The government of Jamaica operates from Jamaica House. The government of Jamaica don't operate from Belmont Road or Hope Road. Okay? So I will tell you this, the government, not the Jamaica Labour Party, the government must be given credit. Must be given credit for the reduction in crime. No political party must be given credit. Because hold on, because at the end of the day,
no, that is enough. You have said it, but I just want to put this while you're answering. So if it was the government, when they say government, that is also going to include the opposition.
correct.
If it was the government who is responsible for the crime reduction, who was margoling Peter Bunting, Dayton Campbell, and the rest of the PNP asking for a crime plan?
What you see, but we know, and again,
who were they asking? If they were part of the government who is held responsible, who were they asking for a crime plan?
They were asking the government, which is led by the Andrew Holness administration, for a crime plan.
Okay, so if they were asking the government led by Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness for a crime plan, when the crime plan reaps the reward of murders down 44.1%, it is the Andrew Holness led administration that should be getting the credit.
Yes, but Andrew Holness led administration is not the Jamaica Labour Party, boss.
So who is there?
When Andrew Holness,
what is his purpose? What is his sole mandate?
Hold on, you ask a question.
Hold on. Because I like on this program to teach the listeners. The listeners must understand. The government of Jamaica from the Jamaica Labour Party. The Jamaica Labour Party forms the government, but the party is not the government. And former leader Bruce Golding made it clear that it is parties that win elections, not government. So it's a fine distinction, and there's a separation to be made.
But neighbor,
and what you are talking about, Winner, is governance.
yes,
Which includes the opposition, not government.
But I'm saying to you, neighbor, it would have been contradictory when the PNP came out and asked the government for a crime plan.
And sorry, the PNP is not wrong to demand. The PNP is not wrong to demand of the government.
Isn't the ideology of a political movement or party in how they see governance and how a country should be operated? That
Political parties form government. Political parties.
Yeah, but political party forms government, but their ideology as a political party transcends through governance and government.
Hold on, Gertman.
No, but yes, say this too. One question, please. One question, neighbor. Neighbor, one question.
Just hold on, you're coming. That's only question, man. The PNP is not wrong to hold the government accountable, to ask questions if they feel that crime is getting out of control. PNP is not wrong, you know.
No,
as a matter of fact, they ought to do it on behalf of the people. Your loyal, Your Majesty, loyal opposition. The point you are making, Winner, which is a fundamentally correct point, is that if the opposition asks the government for a crime plan to fix crime, now that the crime situation appears to be under some control, that the people that you ask should be the people that you commend.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I'm also saying that government or the leadership of government, talking about the other side of the bench that made up of 49 member of parliament, they write the policy prescription for all areas of government and governance. And from that prescription, we see a reduction in crime. And therefore,
in other words, had the government not invested heavily in training, in resourcing in technology, in intelligence, these things would have contributed to the reduction.
These are the mechanisms.
So it is government policy. It is government policies that is driving crime down.
Yes, when you try to get the youth man off the corner with the hard trust NTA, when you have bolster and increase the number, the amount of benefits that you put into the social class or the social aspect of a country, these are policy decisions that effectively remove youths or increase the potential of them being successful rather than diverting them to gangs.
Yeah. So winner, very good point. So it's not only that the government would have invested in the security force or in the security forces itself. It's investment in education, in the social life of the country would have steered people away and given them alternatives to crime, and also in the justice system.
Yes.
Well, I don't think that is debatable, Gurfman.
No. Okay. So winner, I asked you this question today. Earlier, the prime minister, the prime minister alerts all his candidates, all his 63 candidates. Did he invite them to Hope Road, to Jamaica House, or invite them to Belmont Road?
I didn't know that I didn't know about the meeting.
Okay. So today, the prime minister round up his troops, all his 63 candidates, and he let the candidates know that the pre-election campaign is over. We are now going full speed ahead. We are pressing the metal to the floor. Did he bring them to Hope Road, or he brought them to Belmont Road?
I don't know. I didn't.
Well, okay. So let me tell you. He took them. Well, it's surprising they don't know this, and this is where you're being disingenuous.
I was working all day, God.
No. You were working all day. Okay, I hear you. You were working all day. Sometimes our memory may lapse at times.
Only brethren, I have a child, I have a wife. My life is not built around politics.
Oh, I thought it did. I thought it did.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, fellas, I mean, as I say, the government of the day will be accountable by the voters of Jamaica. The opposition of the day will be accountable by the people of Jamaica, and they will be the one. The electorate will make the decision of who they want.
Before we go to that decision, Gurfman, stay with us, winner. Stay with us. So you said earlier that the government would have performed reasonably well, right? Sir?
Yeah, you talking to me?
Yes, sir. I'm speaking to you. You said that the government.
I would say the government has performed reasonably well, but I believe
you went on to say that though they would have performed well, there were still areas in the society that you feel have not. Can you give me 2 minutes to 9 o'clock in Jamaica? The program is Politics Plus, and we're here chatting. The Prime Minister would have asked his members of Parliament today. The Gleaner is reporting that Holness has put them into full campaign mode as the election nears. We're here talking with Gurfman. Gurfman is a supporter of the People's National Party, and Winner has joined us. Of course, I think I can say that Winner supports the Jamaica Labour Party. Gurfman has said that the government has performed well, and he says that as as a PNP supporter, but at the same time, he's not going to vote for the government. Gerfman?
Yes, sir.
If the government has performed as well as you are suggesting, why not let them continue?
If the government has performed, and neighbor, I don't want you injecting the words in my mouth. I said reasonable well.
No. I said reasonably well.
No, I said
and you said you'd go beyond that.
And I will go well. Okay, I will go that. There are certain infrastructure.
Why not continue with this government for a third term? Why not?
Why not continue with the government? And this is where your platform is going to blow up now, neighbor. So call in the fire department, because you may need some people on standby from Spanish Town, Old Harbor, and all of that.
Well,
from the fire department, right? Let me say this. Let me say this. One of the biggest thing that is plaguing this government, especially the hierarchy of the government, is the perception of corruption. You hear the word I use? The perception of corruption. And
yes,
and perception perception weighs heavier than the real fact of the corrupt practice. And then and how the government, especially the Prime Minister himself, how the Prime Minister handles the questions of perception of corruption, I believe he has done a poor job on that. Because if you
you have said a mouthful. Let's put it in bite sizes, because it is very important what you are saying. I should tell you today, Gerfman, that I was having a conversation with a Labour, right? And he raised the same thing with me privately. You are saying that this perception, fueled by the PNP, I must say, has, in your view, damaged the government's chances.
I'm not going to say it's fueled by the PNP, because
where is it coming from?
It's not the PNP fuel the argument of perception. The Prime Minister himself allows the argument of perception about corruption to linger, because
I have to agree with you. I tell you the truth. I have to agree with you.
And he allows that to linger.
And I think it is important. It is important for the listeners to hear you carefully, because you are saying it is the perception.
Correct. And
you know what they say about perception. That
if sometimes I'm say it, go closer. If
it is even greater than reality.
Exactly.
Can I add something here?
Yes, we know.
No, in 2023, PNP Dan Anderson. In 2023, Mr. Dan Anderson did a poll, right? And that is the poll that the PNP typically goes for. They believe that that is the right poll. Now, he did a poll surrounding what was Jamaicans' major concern when he asked over 1,300 electorates. You know where corruption fell in the, I think it was like 6 towers of questions where corruption fell? Where did corruption fall? Second to last, Jamaicans really don't weigh heavily as it pertains to corruption, because they do believe that both parties are corrupt. Donna Scott Motley said it. Hold on, government. Donna Scott Motley said it in Parliament that both parties are corrupt. But both parties have been caught in corruption. She said it with her mouth. And therefore, the perception of corruption does not weigh heavily on the minds of electorate. Electorate cares about crime, they cares about cost of living, and they care about poverty. Those are the big ticket items. And if you look at what Dr. Andrew Holness has done, he has focused heavily on those 3 top ranking things. The first one, crime. That's the biggest ticket item. 45% of Jamaicans voted that those were their major concern. Followed by the poverty, and that has been slashed to the lowest it has ever been since 1989 at 8.2%. And then the next one was,
why is it that you are not acknowledging that there is a perception.
Perception is neither here nor there. You have to find it corruption as a perception.
No, we know. Hold on. There are people in prison tonight on a lie.
Yes.
There are people who have been convicted and condemned to death, and none of them commit the crime.
But here again,
no, sir. Perception sometimes can damage you.
Yes,
we know. But perception can damage you.
We have electorates who are going to the ballots who do not care much about corruption because they believe that both parties inherently are corrupt.
Yes, sir. But when the opposition hammers the government.
Yes,
the opposition continues. Hammer the government. You know that the opposition in Jamaica today have been protesting, calling mass protests, labeling the government as corrupt.
But you cannot stop that. All the government can do is put the facts to the people of Jamaica.
But with that can't be stopped.
If
this is a monologue or a dialogue, let me know because it's time for me to go.
Hold on, Government. The Jamaica Labour Party has been in government since 2016. A poll was done asking electorate, people who are going to vote at the ballots, asking what are their major concerns. Corruption was the least of their problems and their worries.
Good night, everybody.
The opposition can continue to create an atmosphere of corruption. The electorate don't care much about that.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Let
Garfman, hold on, Travis, let Garfman respond and then you come. Garfman, your time. Go ahead.
The fact of the matter is this, as I was saying, when you have the PM, we not talk about that people are not concerned about the corruption. When people look at leaders, when they look at a leader and a leader name is being embroiled into different argument and different action that the leader maybe have taken, like when the Prime Minister would have taken the Integrity Commission for review to the courts, for the courts to intervene on this. And this is a law that the Prime Minister himself helped pass while being an MP, and I will have to beg her to ask a question: is that when the Prime Minister was agreeing to the law, wasn't counsel, he didn't understood what he was doing. So people will look at it, and included myself and others will say that these people want to circumvent the law to suit their desire. When you look at these things, and that is how the perception of corruption comes around, when the Prime Minister himself will order his MPs and his side not to have a discussion around certain conversation, these are things that swirl the word of corruption. I believe that the Prime Minister, that if he said that he's not corrupt and this is it, the Prime Minister should come out front and center and show the Jamaican people, this is what I turn over to these people. This is what the question that I've been answering. And the people will look at it and say, and make it, and can determine for themselves, say, listen, Dr. Andrew Holness is the man for tomorrow. The PNP is just swirling something that has no merit. But the Prime Minister has not done anything to debunk that. And I mean,
for the viewership of your listeners, could you just put that screen?
I believe I was next.
Yeah, let me put you up in the box. Let me put it up. Yeah, go ahead.
I believe I was next. That's the same graph I was trying to put up. And if you would have noticed.
What is that about? Go ahead.
When they asked 1,300 electorates, what were your major concern as Jamaicans if you're supposed to go out and vote?
Biggest challenge facing Jamaica.
Heavily on the minds of Jamaicans. You see about corruption there?
And I ask you this question. If Dan Anderson was to... Charlie, I'm not going to talk to you because you're disingenuous individual.
No, Charlie.
So I'm not going to take anything from what you say because all you do is to create fictitious arguments and fictitious things. That's what you do. So me done with you.
Yes, sir.
Me done with you.
In all fairness,
I am asking, hold on, Travi. I'm asking Winner to explain to the listeners the graph that he has.
All right, so this was a Dan Anderson poll commissioned in 2023, and they asked Jamaicans, 1,300 registered voters, what are the top 5 biggest challenges facing Jamaicans? And these people spoke. We are in a democratic country where the majority of the people said crime and violence was their issue. 45% of the respondents said crime and violence was my biggest problem.
Yes, Winner. And we are now in 20. Hold on. Yes, I hear you. But we are now in 2025.
Show me the graph for 2025.
I wonder if the pollster should go now.
There's none, right?
Same question. What would be the response?
But I'm saying to you, neighbor, the perception of corruption and actual corruption has been a thing that has been plaguing both governments since 1950, when we gained independence and started to run our
So are you satisfied, Winner? Are you satisfied with the response of the government to the claims, the allegations of corruption?
The
to the point where the opposition, hold on, Winner. Hold on, to the point where the opposition, sir, the opposition People's National Party would have taken to the streets to suggest to Jamaica, and they are asking Jamaica to join them in protesting against corruption. You don't think that there needs to be a stronger response from the government?
Stronger response in what sense? In what sense, neighbor? In what sense? How is the Prime Minister going to listen, when you're a government and you're focused on governance and also running a successful campaign, you can run down every fire that the opposition starts. The opposition has all the time in the world to find every single matchstick and light a fire here, there, and everywhere. If you as a government continue to run and try to out every single fire, your vision and your movement.
I think you are placing a bit too much confidence in the electors, and I don't. I must tell you the truth. When I travel across this country and I talk to people on the ground, I am not confident that they are not buying this. I'm not confident that they are not buying it. You see what I'm saying to you? They are probably 3-4. You know, the Ministry of Education itself, by its own statistic, said 315,000 Jamaicans are illiterate. But they vote.
Yes.
And among
that was by design, though.
Among this mass campaign that the party will be pushing for is right to this 315,000 illiterate people that they don't even know what perception means. All them say, they hear some man out there say, one man have 28 bank account. You know, I believe, sir, that you have to find a way to make sure that these people understand that this is not true.
Neighbor,
can't say you must leave it alone. Go ahead, Travi. You have.
I must ask you this question. All 300,000 illiterate that you mentioned votes PNP or will vote PNP?
I don't know how they will vote.
But yet,
both parties are going to campaign for their vote. And Travi, they are transactional.
There you go again. That's neighbor, you have a wonderful night, neighbor. I gotta go. Thank you.
No, darkness and light can't stay in the same place, And whenever I'm in the room, Gaffman I go run. Gaffman can't stay in no room with me there. But like when I'm alone now, neighbor, I go through the entire conversation that I had to painstakingly sit and listen to the rubbish. Let's talk about government. What is government? The people through an organization who is put in authority to govern, run a country, control its resources, make decisions. That man said that the party or the people can't get no credit at the government.
Which man? Which man?
Gaffman stated that the party cannot get any credit, or the government will get the credit. So let me ask you this question. Who farms the government? You may ask, neighbor.
The government is formed by members of the Jamaica Labour Party.
So the Jamaica Labour, so it's a Jamaica Labour Party government.
Hold on.
So it's a JLP government.
Did you know? I'm sure you know that it is possible for the Prime Minister to recruit people from the People's National Party to put in the government.
He has not done so. So that is a non-argument. That is a non-argument. That is a non-argument because he has not done so.
No, man. No, hold on, sir. You know that there are senators that are not members.
Neighbor, in the context of what we're discussing, that is irrelevant, to be quite honest with you. Respectfully and honestly.
It is not irrelevant, but it is because it is not irrelevant, sir, because it is not an untruth. It is true that the government can recruit outside of the party to put in the government. Isn't that true?
So let me ask you, when did I mention that?
Is it true or not true that the Prime Minister will choose?
Yeah, but it is true. All right, hold on. Let me.
They don't say it is irrelevant.
It is true, but here's why it is irrelevant. They have done so, neighbor. That's why it's irrelevant. And we're talking about the people who actually work and bring down the crime. That's what we're talking about. We're trying to figure out who it is that actually do it. And he's saying it's not the JLP. It is government. Who is the government? He's saying it's not the JLP. Because we are talking about who actually do the work. That is the context of the argument. And he's saying it's not the JLP. It's the government. So may I ask you, who is the government?
The government of Jamaica. Sir, Mr. Travi, you have to hold on. It is important for the listeners to understand. The government of Jamaica is the government of Jamaica. It is a separate entity from the Jamaica Labour Party. The Jamaica Labour Party is not the government of Jamaica.
So neighbor, so all these times that we've been listening and hear Gleaner quoting the Jamaica Labour Party government, TVJ, all of them, they've been wrong. You're saying you know more than
the Jamaica Labour Party.
Hold on, neighbor, I listen to you. I listen to you.
Yes. It's all right.
Allow me to make my point.
The Jamaica Labour Party today met at Belmont Road. The government did not meet there.
Neighbor.
Yes.
Can I make my point?
Yeah, of course.
But if you're not gonna afford me to make the point, just kick me off the program because I listen to you.
Chavi, I did not invite you. You came. If you want to leave, you leave. Don't tell me to kick you off because I don't add anybody to the program. You are here to have a discussion, sir, and I'm allowing your time. Do not be facetious.
No, but every time when I start talking, you cut me off without I making the point. And then you're allowing me to make the point, which is not true. You're not allowing me to speak because you cut me off. That's not true.
Go ahead.
No, the government is the Jamaica Labour Party. The governing Jamaica Labour Party is a term and phrase widely used by every facet of society. Why? Because that is the fact. And we allow these arguments, these fallacies to spin because it supports a certain narrative that they are trying to spread. And you, sir, stated that you're educating your listener. And I believe you're doing them a disservice to allow this misinformation to get into them. It is misinformation. It is no disrespect. It's not arrogance. It is the truth. That's what it simply is. And none of us know too big to understand that our position.
Can I ask you a question, Travi?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Are you a member of the Jamaica Labour Party?
No, sir.
Okay. Nor am I. But members of the Jamaica Labour Party are maybe 300,000-400,000 or maybe a little less.
I hear you.
And who is the government, sir? No, Travis, you should do better than this.
Sir, hold on now. So you're saying, because we're saying the JLP is the government, you want to add in all 300,000 members? It is the...
I am making a distinction.
Mr. Holness, hold on.
I am making a distinction that the party that forms the government is the Jamaica Labour Party.
Right.
There are two political parties in Jamaica that can form government. One is the People's National Party, the other is the Jamaica Labour Party. The government is formed from the party. The party is not the government, sir.
Okay.
And if you don't understand that, Travi,
I hear you. I hear you.
should,
But
you
I
should
never,
be
I never,
quiet.
I never said that. I never said that the party, as in the party itself, is the government. The government is.
What are you saying?
This institution forms government. So whatever the government does, it is a result of the policies of this institution. So there's no crediting the government without crediting the institution that forms the government. It's a simple point. Very simple.
Yes.
It is very simple. All right, watch. Let me change it now. I'll turn it now. Watch the style now. NHT should be credited to the government and not to the PNP. Let's talk about that. It is a government initiative. It's not a PNP initiative. Can we do that? Can we say the transport center is not a PNP work? It is a government work. Can we say that? Can we take credit from the PNP for that?
We are not at cross purposes, Travi, because I get.
I know that. I
think we are saying the same thing.
I know that. But my point is simply this, neighbor. My point is simply this. When he spoke the misinformation, you allowed it. And in
What
the
is
same
what is the misinformation? No. But you can't accuse me, sir. And then you don't, and then I ask you to tell me what is the misinformation.
Neighbor, honestly, neighbor, see, if you let me finish, you will understand what I say. Honestly, if you let me finish.
What is the misinformation?
The misinformation is that he says the JLP gets no credit. The credit is for the government. Absolute garbage. Because you know why? It is the JLP.
But you know, Travi, hold on, Travi, if the government gets credit, then the Labour Party gets credit.
No, but the government, but based on how they want.
Hold on,
then the PNP also get credit.
Let me ask you this. Neighbor, that which you just said, your latest utterance, was that the argument you put forward at the time?
Sorry?
Your latest utterance, was that the argument you put forth at the time of him saying that?
What did I put forward? No, I don't remember.
You sided with him and differentiate and separate them and say, all right, it's the government credit and not the party, because the party is different from the government.
Listen, quite frankly, I think it's I don't know why you're getting excited over this.
I'm not getting excited. I'm siding with you who wants to educate your listeners.
The government, the Jamaica Labour Party forms the government of Jamaica. But the Jamaica Labour Party is not the government. The government, by its definition and distinction, is the group of people who are in charge of running the country through policies and controlling its resources, and they are not all, and the government
administration.
You have to separate the cabinet, because the government is not only the members of the cabinet.
But who are the policy directors? Who are the policy directors?
The cabinet, the executive.
Who makes up the cabinet?
The Jamaica Labour Party. We not have to go over that. Here we are going to do.
Hold on, give me a second. When decisions or policies are made by the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Transportation, the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Water, the Prime Minister, all these persons who make up the cabinet of the government are on the Jamaica Labour Party side. They are the policy makers. They drive policies that are ideal or innate in the political movement. So the political movement that forms government have a certain ideology of how governance and good governance should be. The party as a body believes in directives that are driven by policies in a particular manner, such as how you reduce crime, all the facets of life that needs to coordinate or come together to reduce crime. So it's a policy initiative from the Jamaica Labour Party that eventually forms government. And I'm saying, when Peter Bunting, Mark Golding, Dayton Campbell, and all of them came out and asked the government for a crime plan, when they asked for Dr. Horace Chang to be fired and removed because he was inept and incompetent. And
All right,
now that we have murders down, Dr. Horace Chang and the Jamaica Labour Party that forms the government should be credited for such.
Okay, so listeners, political parties are organized groups with similar ideas or ideology about the function and scope of government, with shared policy goals that work together to elect individuals to political office, to create and implement policies, to further an agenda, and to gain control of the government and the policy making process.
Right.
I hope that
Hold on. Wait. Let me respond to that real quick. You just looked up a political party. You didn't look up government. I'd ask that you look up government. Go look up the word government.
No.
And then you would have seen. Hold on.
Inscribed into this.
Hear me out now. Just hear me out, please. Me I beg you. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because each time you make a point, you cut me off, neighbor. Like honestly,
You keep saying that as if
just hear me for a second. Just hear me for a second. Let me finish, please. Please. When you look up government, you would have seen it tells you a group of
Give me 15 seconds. Give me 15 seconds, Travi. I'm coming right back. 26 minutes after 9 o'clock. Travi.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, sir. Young lady, right? He's on here. And he's passionate. He's a passionate young man. And my understanding is that he doesn't lose debates. That he has very strong views. We are always here to entertain him and to hear what he has to say. He's been he's a little upset.
I am not upset.
Garfman came and said something about his party that he wants to defend. All right, sir. Go ahead and complete your thoughts. Uninterrupted. Go ahead.
First, let me start with saying that I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
You're passionate?
If I was a preacher, I would be contending for the faith, ain't I? And that would have been okay. I wouldn't be deemed upset. I'd be deemed a good preacher.
Passionate what?
Don't you think?
I don't know.
So now that I'm here contending for the truth, I'm upset. Okay, all right. I guess that's it. But my point is this, sir. When we look up government, not a party, when you look up government, you would have seen that it explained the group of individuals through an institution, meaning the political party, and them form the government. You understand me? And I'm simply saying, there's no credit in the government without crediting the political party. And if that's the case, because we can't play this double standard that they want to play. Because when they're in government, when the PNP is government, whatever they do is PNP do it. But when the JLP in government and a JLP, if you get credit, government, it just does not make sense. And by that logic, the PNP never do nothing for Jamaica yet. It's the government. It's not an unfair statement. Look into what I'm saying. And you can even look into the facts with regard to the word and government. Right? Now, if we will move on from that point and go to perception, let me not move it myself.
Let me ask you a question.
Your permission.
Let me ask you a question. There are some people who suggest that the People's National Party is part of the government. Would you agree with that?
The People's National Party is part of the government?
The opposition.
Is part of the government? They are a part of parliament. They don't form government. The JLP forms government. The governing Jamaica Labour Party, they are the ones running government.
The opposition is not part of governing the country.
No.
Can the government hold on, no, man. Can the government unilaterally pass legislation without the support of the opposition?
Yes. You want to hear how?
No,
when
no.
when it is put to a vote.
In our system of government.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Isn't our system of government set up to include some decisions? For example, the government just lost a case in the court, the constitutional court, because the PNP, you know that case.
Yeah.
So can the government unilaterally make decisions in the interest of the country without the support of the opposition?
They can make decisions without the opposition. They can enact laws without the opposition.
Every decision.
No, not every decision.
There are certain constitution.
Hold on. The PNP form part of government as the opposition because they are the Her Majesty's opposition, right? So they form a part of our governance structure, but they are not policy makers.
So therefore, Trabi, in the management of the country, there are certain decisions, certain changes that the government cannot make without the support of the
constitutional.
Let me answer him. You notice that your choice of word certain.
Yes, it has to be certain, brother.
Let's dissect that. Certain things they have to consult them on because guess what? Full authority is with the governing party.
No one is arguing that, Travi. I'm just asking you. The question I asked you, let me see if I can come again. Is the opposition part of government?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Travi.
Yes, they are, but they are not.
Hold on. Say that again. I mean, I ask a question. Hold on. As you see me get a call a while ago, according to him, I get call for information or whatever. But repeat your question. Just repeat again. In a chat. Not chat me at all. Don't worry about that. Just repeat the question. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How broad is your knowledge, Travi, of the Constitution?
I have a very good command of the Constitution. And I know that the Constitution.
You know why the Senate was set up like that. Because remember, it is possible for the Jamaica Labour Party to win 62 seats,
63.
Or even 63. But that doesn't give the government full governance of the Senate.
No, it was a legislation.
And that is why Mr. Siaga, when he had 60 seats in Parliament, chose
finish. Let me hear him, please.
To appoint independent senators. Because there are certain entrenched areas of the Constitution that the government cannot touch or change without a 2/3 majority. And even in the Senate, there are some bills that the government needs at least one member of the opposition to vote with them. Wouldn't you say, therefore, Travi, that technically you could say that the opposition is a part of it?
Technically.
No, it's not technical.
It's not.
Hold on. Let me respond now, winner, please. Let me respond. Please, just let me respond. Because he's directing the questions directly to me. He asks Travis, please. No, even in your build-up to your question, you keep referring to the government, and separating so that they can't do certain things without the opposition. You notice that which you do? You separate who is government and who is opposition. You realize that in your build-up. Then you ask the question, can they do certain things without the opposition? That is clear for, I don't know, well, maybe some people don't know it, so let me not go across like that. Yes, it is a fact that certain decision does require the input of the opposition. Yes, it does. Like you said, technically, they are a part of the government. Yes, we not dispute that. That isn't the conversation.
So then logically, they ought to take some of the credit for the crime reduction. The government.
Yeah. The government should take what?
Credit.
Oh, you're saying the opposition should get some of the credit. Hold on. You're saying the opposition should get some of the credit. But here's the backdrop that the party nothing. You know see where I reach now? Because you just leave the party a while ago. Who formed the opposition? PNP. Hold on, we not discuss the party. We're not gonna talk about whether or not they get credit. It's the whole concept that he brought about. That because I'm a part of the government, they should get part of the credit too. And that solidifies the point I made.
Yeah,
it solidifies my point.
Neighbor, you never strain your question.
I disagree with you.
Neighbor, I agree with you, but I disagree with you at the
If I
same
can
time.
interject,
I did agree with you to a certain point, but on that point, we disagree with you.
Guys, hold on, guys. Neighbor, you see what that a while ago?
I think neighbor playing this devil advocate over here.
Neighbor don't be running program still. I don't know if that man do, but
Never.
Yes, sir.
I'm sitting here listening to the conversation. And well, to my mind, we are conflating or confusing government with governance. When you ask a question, when you ask Travis the question, if opposition is a part of government, I'm not sure if that's a trick question, but the opposition cannot be a part of government. They are a part of governance, not government. Government, at the end of the day, is a body politic given legitimacy by the electorate to govern, and only one party was given the legitimacy to govern. So the opposition is a part of governance, not government.
HR,
we sit here and we're conflating and confusing ourselves.
HR, good point. But if you notice, I said to him, even in your build-up, you still have to separate the two. Because you have to call the government, and you have to call the opposition. That's his build-up, his own argument is the difference between the two. And separate.
In our system of government, and that's the beauty and chaos with the Westminster system, where it was set up in Jamaica's case, where we have 21 senators in the Senate. It's a mathematical formula that Siaga came up with. It's a mathematical formula, deliberate act to ensure that the government of the day doesn't have 2/3 majority in the Senate. They can have it in the House.
Governance is about the act or process governing.
yes.
Government is the entity that carries out this governance.
There you go.
Because I was confused a little while, because government
that is clear for the
governance is the practical.
Travi is on a break.
Mark President. I'm Mark President. Yes, sir.
You know what our issue is?
Yes, sir.
Our Westminster model.
You wanted to. I don't get no catch, yes, sir. You don't catch me.
Neighbor.
It's not about. Hold on. Stop.
We're confusing ourselves.
Hold on, chat. Don't do that. Let's not. No, it's not about catch. Me let it go in, but no, let me address it. It's not about catch or this or that or whatever. We are feeding off each other energy and we are sharing knowledge. Don't do that. It's not a competition. I don't want people to get that. It's not a competition. Please.
Yes.
Winner.
All right. You wanted to move. You wanted to.
You hear me?
Go ahead.
The Westminster model that we operate in Jamaica, that is the problem that we people are getting mixed up about. We over structure consists of three main branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. Right? The executive is formed by the Prime Minister and his minister.
Cabinet.
So that the cabinet, right?
I must tell you guys that I don't control the people that comes in the box. I want to remind my moderator that I don't like having so many people in the box, because it don't give us a chance to just
Dialogue.
we have to give each other a chance to talk, okay? So I like how we have all 6 here. Can we just agree on how we are going to proceed so that we can all have something to say?
Yeah, man. We are all civil. It's a civil audience, neighbor, so you're not for it.
Winner was on the continue with
Go ahead with
all right. So the executive branch, which is formed by the Prime Minister who heads it, as well as his cabinet, right, sets policies and policy direction. And then we have the legislative branch, which consists of the Senate and the other House of Representatives. I remember you have backbenchers, who don't really are involved in policy making.
They're not part of government.
They are part of the legislative branch
Of government.
Yes, but the executive now that is set policies and programs that lead Jamaica in a particular direction should be credited for the reduction in murders. And the executive is formed by the Prime Minister and his cabinet.
Yes. All right. I think we are agree on that point.
And another thing, the methodology is a core principle of this party. Just like they campaign on these policies, say this is what we're bringing to the people, it's our policy. When they get to the control and they administer it and it works, how is it that they don't get any credit?
Let me ask you a question, though, Chad.
Yes, sir.
Gurfman was suggesting that the government has performed. He said, I use the word reasonably well. He said more than reasonably well. Why is the election competitive? Why is it close?
Why is the election close?
Yes.
Partisan.
The election is close because people think that it is so. Hold on. People are assuming that it is so. You know when we are going to know the truth, Mr. Neighbor? On election day, the real polls. And I give you this example.
We're not hearing a Chavi, you're gone.
Oh, is that Casey up here? Then how Casey? Casey, you should be here, man. I don't understand.
Casey by one Gucci at.
Oh, he's here. He's here.
Chavi, tip forward. Listen, when he said relatively well, and that he was saying that the people of Jamaica needed it the most, did not receive it the most. I can't quote him verbatim, but that is
Good night, everybody.
when you have good night, Casey. When you have poverty being reduced to its lowest it has ever been since he started to take this record in 1989, who did benefit? Are we alleviating the upper class and the middle class from poverty? Or are we attacking the bottom line of persons who are struggling in our society, that we have drawn them out of this poverty situation? When we have had the lowest unemployment record to date, 3.4%, in the developing world, neighbor, that would be considered full employment, because some people genuinely just don't want to work. They have the skills, they have the ability, but they have found other means of making a living. Rather than going there to do a 9 to 5. So we call ourselves employed. First time since the World Hunger Index started to take record, Jamaica is now ranked 40 with a score of 7.7, the lowest it has ever been in history. Who benefits, neighbor? Can't be the middle class or the upper class. It must be the most vulnerable of society who have been lifted out of poverty on the World Hunger Index, as well as unemployment, lowest unemployment in history, as well as cutting the poverty rate to 8.2%. I just don't understand the line of reason that government is coming from to say that the policy directive of government has not been directed specifically to alleviate these people from bondage. I don't get it. I don't buy it. The numbers don't lie anymore.
It doesn't make sense.
All right. Let's hear from
If
Sam.
I can say 2 words.
Let's hear from Sam. Sam?
All right. My belief that the perception of corruption is what actually have a damp on people and have people wavering or even holding back a bit towards the
So you
Labour,
don't agree with Winner. You don't agree with Winner, sir. That Jamaicans are not paying attention.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with Winner that the Labour Party have done a lot to benefit the poorest of the poor of the people, right? But the perception, because reason why I said that, I have my personal experience talking to Labour, right? Quite a 1 and 2 of them. And when I see my cousin look at me and say, boy, I'm gonna tell you no lie. I feel a way to know that my prime minister name calling up and almost like he trying to say he feel shame to even talk proud as a labor right. And quite a few people when you talk to them, the first thing they might bring up, boy, Andrew do good enough, but they say my thief the money. And that put a damp on people decision towards voting. So my belief, the perception of corruption have a lot to do with why the Labour government have to be working so extra hard, because the amount of work that they already done, it shouldn't be a question of they should be the one who coming out victorious. That shouldn't even be a question. It should have been a landslide.
Do you think the election results is in doubt at this time, sir?
I don't really believe it in doubt, but so clear as we wanted it to be, from my point of view.
So what is the difference between that and doubt? It is not clear that it is a doubt.
Yes, true. You have a point. What you're saying.
Well,
but to me, I don't really doubt it. But I just don't believe that we would win by what we wanted it to be based on the amount of work that have been done.
Are you in Jamaica?
No, not at the moment. But even today,
you don't hear that the party, the Jamaica, the leader of the Labour Party has put his party on full election alert. Why you not?
I heard that on Cliff today.
No, you on the Cliff it in the Gleaner today. So you coming home?
No, I hear Cliff mention it today that
you coming home, sir?
Someone.
The party needs you.
No, man, me definitely coming home to vote, man. That's no doubt. When them know me,
Is Dr. Kirkwall?
Definitely coming home to vote. But I'm just saying, I've spoken to people, and I know that corruption perception have a lot to do with why the government have to be working so hard to actually prove themselves. More than enough work already done. They shouldn't even have to go overboard right now. That's my 2 cents.
Yes. Do you have you ever heard, sir, that people vote out government rather than voting? You know, sir, before you respond, there is a sense in which societies across the world believes that governments exist to do certain things that governments say they do. For example, the whole matter of the securing of the lives of people. We hold this truth to be self-evident that all men are created equal and that they're endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, among them the right to life. Yes, and that it is to secure these rights why governments exist. So government exists to make sure that they don't kill you, and so therefore the credit to government for some of the accomplishments. People don't necessarily credit the government, sir, because they feel that that's what you have been elected to do. But if it doesn't get done, then the same people rush to the poll to put you out.
Exactly.
Can I say something? I'm gonna throw a spoke out there because I'm gonna leave because I'm actually on call. If we get a patient, I'm gonna come out of my bed. No, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Holness, was appointed the chairman of CARICOM. Now, you think CARICOM leaders and the executive of CARICOM have not been paying attention to Jamaica? Have not?
Yes, they do.
Have not looked at the Prime Minister's case before the judiciary. They have not read. They have not read the Integrity Commission report about the Prime Minister. And after
I believe they do.
All of that.
I believe they do, but remember now, those people are educated people.
Something says right.
You think after reading all of these documents, and they have any hint or whiff or smell that the Prime Minister was corrupt and he stole taxpayers' money, that they would have elected him chairman of CARICOM?
Not at all.
And destroy the body that we call CARICOM? Labor rights and well-thinking Jamaicans, electorates, use that as a prime example that CARICOM The leaders of CARICOM
Was
and other
was
small
PJ
countries
Patterson
do not
appointed head of CARICOM one time?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I would have to look.
Yeah, I
But
think so.
he never had an integrity commission case before him. And I'm saying these leaders looked at everything that Jamaicans are looking at. And they believe that the Prime Minister is clean. That is why he's there as chairman, leading them. So
Likewise, me too.
hold on. Labour rights were timid and talking about look at our Prime Minister.
And winner, winner,
Of CARICOM.
winner,
Yeah.
winner.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You can even go further by saying IMF requested the finance minister, which all of this would have happened under his watch.
Exactly. We just got reduction from we just got delisted from money laundering countries the other day. You think those have not been watching? Jamaica.
And guys, hear what me I say. We all out here so believe that, and know that, but it's the people out there that not thinking like us and don't think clear like us.
Some
But
made,
we
some
believe
made
that
a
and
good
we
point,
know that.
because it's really a strategy by the PNP to assassinate the Prime Minister's character. And they are going by the rule that say a lie that's told 1,000 times becomes true. Because it start getting to people's head.
Propaganda.
And people who are not to information and don't read and don't check things will have doubt. And what they want to cast is doubt.
Yeah. Anyway, so Casey, how you doing, man?
I'm not too bad. I'm not bad at all, neighbor. I saw you change the time on us yesterday, and then today again, and then I left work 8 p.m. So I just had 4 minutes ago.
No, sir. I tell you the truth. I have been trying to gather some personal issues, and it has kept me out of town for the last couple of days. Very, very important matters. You'll hear from me soon, though. You hear?
Okay.
Yeah, man. And so now that the elections are almost imminent, Casey, there is great interest in where the election is going, and so I'd like to speak to you about that before the other guests. Just hold on there for me, though, Casey. I see a new person has joined. His name League. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hi.
All right, I'm just listening to live and want to make some correction to the talk of previously before this one. Within CARICOM, with all the members of CARICOM, what happened is that who leads CARICOM is based on a selection. So this term would be the Prime Minister of Trinidad. The next turn, it would be the Prime Minister of Barbados. So the next leader is already elected to lead CARICOM. It's just the fact that it's now fall on Jamaica to lead CARICOM. And
but did you hear the point about perception?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with perception of.
No, sir. It does.
No,
it does have something. No, because in the minds, no, sir, in the minds of many people, even online here, just the fact that their Prime Minister has been chosen to lead CARICOM.
Yes, but yes, neighbor. But
you get where I'm going?
Yes, neighbor. But
hold on. So I know. This is why I asked. When this is why I asked, did PJ Party not lead CARICOM? Because I know what you are saying. I know that, sir.
Yes, because
it is no. I know that, but to take more seats than I think they should.
No, there's some seats that your guests would have predicted.
My forecast, sir.
Yes, would go one.
Well, can I be honest with you? You my friend. I suspect that you are a supporter of the People's National Party.
No, sir. I am an independent voter. I vote both PNP and JLP.
Are you planning to vote in the next election?
Certainly, I voted the last time. I voted for the JLP the last election.
Okay, so are you saying that we are predicting the party to win less seats than you think that they will win?
This election will be a close election. Yes?
This election will be a close election.
Very close.
But the PNP will win.
No, I'm not going to call it for any party. But I believe the winning party will be coming from St. Elizabeth. Anybody to capture those 3 critical swing seats in St. Elizabeth will win that election.
But even the Green are suggesting that the bellwether seat, that Green is 19 points up, which suggests that the Labour Party is winning the election.
No. Well, I don't listen to I don't follow polling, because if you follow the two polls that is currently
you're coming in and out.
I really do not follow the polls, because if you should follow the 2 leading poll in Jamaica, that is the Blue Dot and the Dan Anderson poll, we see where they both was wrong in the last government election. That's local.
The forecaster is here, sir. Go ahead and he's talking to you.
I wanted somebody to tell me for a very long time. I've been trying to get the data. What was those polls saying going into that last election? I mean, the last general election or the last local government?
The local government.
And what did they say going? What was the last? What are the numbers going in?
The last
poll.
The last local government election, they have the election JLP winning the local government election by a wide majority. I think the poll was something like 39 to 33.
Now it was closer than that down to the last time I heard it, about 2 days before the local government election.
So it was a JLP won the local government nationally.
If it was 39, 33, what was the margin of error?
0.2.
0.2. So that could have been a 37, 33 or a 30 or a 35, 39.
Yes, sir.
But it would have been there or thereabouts.
Yes. But I hear somebody say that the JLP won the local government election.
Who won the local government election?
Based off the amount of seats that the opposition, yes, would have picked up in the local government election, right? And the base of how the councils would have said before the local government election and after the election, based off how they form after election, it was clear that the PNP won.
So you would have said,
but that's not what the data is showing me.
HR Guru, wait a second. I don't want to bring this into like anyway. You're saying that the PNP picked up more seats based on what they had before, yes. So it would have been a more positive election for them.
Yes.
But they didn't necessarily win because they didn't win the most municipal council, because you know that's what the local government election is counted by.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Who control the municipal councils?
Most of yes.
All right. Currently, what is the count per party when it comes to municipal council?
Well, in favor of Labour.
We are going to count it. Me and you are going to count it because I'm not sure I have it. I just want to make sure I may end on the same page, because I think you know as well. I think PNP have Westmoreland, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And Hanover, right?
Yes.
And coming up from the west, which other one PNP have?
Mandeville.
Manchester, that's 3. And coming up from the west, which other one PNP have?
St. Catherine.
That's 4. Coming up from the west, which other one PNP have? St. Mary.
And they have and
Yeah,
they,
no league, make we count. St. Mary next.
yeah, St. Mary.
So that's 5. Right?
Mhm.
So we'll have to count the one they have outright first before we go into the ties and other things. So
Okay.
put 5 there, so we are going to count everything you want me to count. We're coming from the west with JLP now. JLP would have had...
Oh, Clarendon.
Huh?
Clarendon.
No, they
Wait,
didn't.
PNP
Labour have Clarendon.
No, we have
None.
Clarendon.
No,
No.
Labour control Clarendon.
No, based off the fact that the mayor was selected before.
League, listen now. JLP nor PNP didn't win Clarendon at the end of the day. It resulted in a tie after the last by-election. Yes. But so we have put the 5. It's not like we're going to give Clarendon to JLP. May I count now because may I have to agree.
Okay.
I did this here with somebody who wanted to be stubborn, intellectually dishonest before, and people saying dunce, but me know I never dunce.
Okay.
But anyway, we are come from the west to JLP now. So the first one from the west would have been St. James to JLP.
Yes.
Right? And then Trelawney.
Yes.
And then St. Elizabeth. That's 3. And where is the next one? Coming from the west.
Clarendon.
No, Clarendon is a tie.
Okay.
So
They
go
have,
up.
they have
So you have St.
Thomas.
Anne.
St. Anne. You have St. Anne.
St. Anne, that's 4.
The wife is calling.
Then you
Yeah,
have
But you
St.
might
Anne.
want to pick this.
Portland is 5. Right? Where is League?
You have St. Anne.
Yes, St. Anne makes 4. Huh?
Yes.
Portland is 5.
Yes.
And St. Mary's, St. Thomas is 6.
Yes.
So we have 6, 5. How much municipal council leave?
That's leave 2.
And the 2 that's left would have been Clarendon and Kingston and St. Andrew.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And those are tie. So it's
Yes.
essentially 6, 5 and 2 tie. So
Okay.
people will tell me the PNP have Kingston and St. Andrew because they have the mayor. But
No.
it shows that it's a tie because JLP has the deputy mayor.
Wait, no, sir. You have to go with what the Constitution says. No, you can't go against the Constitution. And what the Constitution says, if there's a tie in a municipal race, the party with the majority of votes will take charge of that council.
No, they don't take charge of the council.
Casey? Casey?
It's not
Listen,
majority of vote. It is a popular vote, sir. That's
HR,
majority.
wait, no, I don't need help, you know. They don't get to take charge of the council. They get to name the mayor,
Yeah.
while the other party names the deputy mayor.
So
If
who
they were
are-
taking charge of the council, they would have the full executive.
So all right. So if who is in charge of the council?
The PNP gets the mayor,
No,
while the JLP...
okay. So we understand that who isn't the
So
mayor?
look here, if you win it, it cannot be a tie league. You cannot win a tie.
Look here. If you have the
League, if you win it, it can be a tie.
It's as simple as that. Before you get into the semantics, you
No.
cannot win a tie.
all right. Remember, in every race you have rules, right? Every race you have rules. And part of the rule is if there's a tie, the party with the popular vote or the majority vote, when they tally the vote, that is the one that select the mayor. And that party will be able to select the mayor. And the mayor have responsibility for the council. So if there's the popular vote is for the PNP, then they are the one that is in charge of the council. So
they didn't win Kingston and St. Andrew, sir.
it was a tie.
Exactly.
But who is the mayor?
The mayor comes from the PNP
Okay.
because they have the popular vote.
Okay.
You think PNP would have won Kingston and St. Andrew and let a JLP councillor be the deputy mayor?
No, sir. You have to go by the rules. And the rule said if there's a tie, the party with the majority vote or the popular vote.
Without the rule now, you're very intelligent brain because you're a well-spoken man. Will tell you that you have been mentioning the word tie over and over. And somehow you want to say if it's a tie because of this or that somebody else's win. I'm going to remind you that you cannot win a tie. That's why it is a tie.
Okay.
And if you want to go to Portmore now, I could give the PNP Portmore if you want me to.
Yeah, but yes.
Yes, but do you know that if the PNP gets Portmore, the JLP gets St. Catherine, because it's the Portmore mayors that sit in the St. Catherine Municipal Council that help PNP to gain control of St. Catherine, because if you should part them, JLP would have had more councillors in St. Catherine.
Yeah. Yes, I know that.
Yes, so he said it wasn't even a contest before the Clarendon by-election. If you really check the figures,
okay,
it come close after the lady died, and there was a by-election with these arguments. But it's ridiculous how people were having these arguments before the by-election.
Casey.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. How many seats did the JLP have before the local government election?
The results of the election don't go on how many did you have, because if JLP now have 49 seats before this general election and ended up with 32, they are still the winner.
Yes.
So you don't win an election based on how much seat you take. You win an election based on if you take the majority of parliamentary seats or majority of parish councils.
All right. Yeah,
because when PNP went into the 2002 election with 50-10 and came out with 34-26, the JLP didn't say they won the election because they picked up 14 seats.
Okay, we can agree and disagree. But some of
they improve.
But I understand that was a magnificent performance by the PNP, and it was a more positive election for them.
Yes, Casey, but as I said, some of your predictions that you're predicting in this election, it is going to surprise you on the night.
Yes, and would you mind to tell me one or two of those that I may have been wrong with so far?
I can tell you about Mr. Brown in Hanover.
Dave Brown.
Dave Brown won't win back that seat.
Okay. And another one would have been?
And I can tell you about Northeast Manchester, the ambassador won't win that seat.
So do you really listen to my forecast, or you just have a pick for me? Because I've put Valwyn in the lead in my last 5 forecasts.
Did he just mention Audrey Marks? Say she won't win her seat?
1,000 life, one at a time.
She won't win that seat.
I would allow him after you, but
his views is not your views, so allow him to have his views. So, but I've been shuffling around Northeast Manchester based on how I see it, league, and I've given it to both JLP and PNP. I've given it at the start to JLP, say PNP is doing some work, but when JLP start work, JLP will maybe blow them out of the water. For me, JLP have work to do because they are taking too long. So they are playing catch up. But based on the numbers, because I know that constituency better than any other of the 63, based on the numbers and how easy that JLP base is to galvanize, I think JLP still stand a pretty good chance. But I agree with you that Valwyn have been campaigning for a good time and is doing some good work. But it's not something you can sure Valwyn will win. It will be hard. Dave Brown, on the other hand, when I started the forecasting and I tell them Dave Brown will eventually recover and win the seat, most people disagree with me because I was also saying Dave Brown is way behind. I think he have made a lot of ground now, and he continued to prove me right by making ground. The JLP is putting up ground in Hanover, especially East Hanover. If they have pulled ahead yet, I don't know, but a forecast is to come. A forecast is not a poll like giving you the data on what happened last week when we asked the question. A forecast is based on what I see coming in the coming months. But if you don't think he will pull back enough, he will pull back the PNP enough to win. I can understand. But have any problem with any other of the forecast?
Yeah, and I think St. Mary the PNP will sweep St. Mary and Manchester.
Okay, sweep St. Mary and Manchester. Yeah. There are the possibilities because I haven't give JLP a safe seat in either St. Mary nor Manchester. So if you want to go as far as saying PNP would sweep those, I've opened those possibilities. So it seems like you come on here to really disagree with me without checking what I've been saying. While I personally think the PNP will not sweep St. Mary and Manchester, I never throw that out the window because I didn't give JLP a safe seat in Manchester nor St. Mary. Okay. So if the PNP can do what they can do, what I know is that the PNP would do well to win even one seat in St. Elizabeth. And if they have a chance in St. Elizabeth, it's northeast, and it will not be easy.
I think they're taking back the seat from Solly.
Yes, but you think what I do here is tell people why I think that.
Well, I can be certain that the Solly seat is going back to the PNP.
Yes, but I tell people why I think I'm certain as well. I just don't come up and say I'm certain.
And if I calling in for Floyd Green, but if they can pull out Black River vote in Floyd Green seat and push and have a lead of over 3,000 in Black River, I think they will defeat Floyd Green.
Have the PNP ever won Black River by 3,000?
No, but they won it in the local government election.
Yes. But you know, Black River didn't have 3,000 votes in the local government.
Didn't have 3,000? How much was on the voters list for Black River?
I mean, they didn't get the PNP didn't get 3,000 votes.
Yes,
in the
I know. But
much less to win by 3,000.
No, I didn't say they win by 3. I said they win with over 2,000 votes.
Yeah. Pardon me?
They win. I think they win by over one, nearly
with 2,000. You mean with over 2,000 or no, by over 2,000? Clarify.
No, with almost 2,000 votes. Sorry.
Okay. So you're saying.
So I am saying, Casey, if the PNP can bring out their vote in Black River and have a lead of over 3,000 going into the count, I think Floyd Green going to be in some trouble.
Yes, but they cannot lead in Black River by over 3,000, sir. It's impossible. While they will get 60% of the vote in Black River for sure. They will not have a 3,000 majority in Black River. I think the PNP need to win Brampton and win it handsomely, and get at least 65% of the vote in Black River to really put up a fight. Because Slide Green will be winning Mountainside and Pedro Plains division by maybe 70% of the votes in both those divisions. But I welcome your scrutiny at any time, you know. I like when people challenge me, tell me I'm wrong and why I'm wrong, if they think I'm wrong.
Mr. Casey, what's your position on Miss Cuthbert Finn?
Pardon me?
Miss Juliet Cuthbert Finn.
Are you from that constituency, sir?
No, sir. I'm just asking you your position.
I think she's safe enough to win her seat. I don't see John Gordon will be overtaking her before this election.
Okay.
That's West Rural St. Andrew. Yeah, I think it's safer than East Rural.
Yes. I think the fight will be in East Rural.
Yes, but I also think if the Prime Minister's wife have the right organization and get out all her vote from around the other 5 divisions away from Harborview, he will overtake the Harborview majority and also win. But her vote spread wide and far, so their organization will need to be good. So JLP win East Rural. By organization, people vote early in other constituency and go and help, because trust me, if you know that landscape set up in East Rural St. Andrew, it's not easy.
That's Orion.
Yes. Any other seat you think PNP may win that I did?
I think especially Miss Charles will lose.
Oh, you think Michelle Charles will lose?
Yes.
And what are your reasons? What do you think Rosemary Shaw will win?
And Anne-Marie Vaz will lose.
Okay, that's where we differ. I don't think there's a chance that Isaac Buchanan.
You don't think there's a chance?
No.
You know, there's a sentiment going in this election that going to decide this election, and that's to do with promises that was made when it comes to the youth.
Be more specific.
The youth votes.
Yes, but you have to really be more specific.
So you say the youth votes in Portland. If Isaac can get majority of the youth votes in Portland, I think he will win that seat.
And why you think he is in pole position to get the youth vote over Anne-Marie Vaz?
You see, Anne-Marie Vaz will run on a platform of how much road have been repaired in the constituency. But what is our record when it comes to helping the youths?
There's a rural bus system now, which is for youth. That is a brainchild of hers. So
don't talk about the bus.
You ask a question, then you tell me how to answer.
No,
okay, answer your question yourself. Answer your question.
But
the bus was here.
Thanks for the gift. But League, you asked about the youth.
Yes.
And he is responding by telling you there's a bus system now that's specifically for the youth.
Okay, for the youth, this is a school bus.
So when you say the youth, what youth you're talking about?
I'm talking employment for the youth between 18 to 25.
So you're saying that Anne-Marie Vaz, the member of parliament, is responsible for providing employment for the youth 18 to 25 in the constituency of East Portland, and she have not sought to help with any employment. And
Yes.
and Isaac Buchanan have promised to get the youth employed if he is elected. I'm trying to understand.
I have a question.
No, let him answer my question first. Because
You're going to have disgruntled youths that would have support Miss Vaz. Yes? And those persons that are disgruntled, that since elected, the only thing Ms. Vaz can say is that let's accept the bus for the school children and the roads that would have been repaired. But what else is there?
Casey asked what else. Can I respond? Casey, he asked what else. Can I respond?
I'll tell you what else.
Right. So let me, as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask this question.
Chavi, I'll let you go, but sometimes I don't want it seems as if it's a gang thing. That's why I shut down people who try to help me. But Chavi Chav, unmute your mic and respond.
All right. So the revival of the shipping pier and the jump in tourism employment, tourism business there, it has nothing to do with her, right? Is that what you're saying? Her advocacy never lead to that. That's what you're definitively saying. That's what I'm asking.
When you speak of tourism,
are you going to make an exception for it now?
No. When you speak of tourism, what are you speaking about?
The question was clear. Like, what is there not to understand in the question I asked just now?
No, I'm asking you. When you say tourism, what are you talking about?
Ships are coming to the pier out there more often than not.
Okay, for the last 4 years, how many ships have docked in Portland?
So hold on now.
Let's debate it now, sir. How many ships have docked in Portland for the last 4 years?
Watch that style. One. Before the last 4 years, how many had docked there?
No, man, we don't be specific. We don't want to go back.
You ask a specific question, I provide an answer. I know you want to tell me how to answer.
Let's not go back in time.
League.
So we're not gonna go back to before the 4 years. Interesting. So how we are gonna compare that she made a difference by one in comparison to none? How we are gonna compare it? If she do something, how we are gonna know if she do something? Because me say one, I'm gonna ask the question now before that. And if your answer just has to be zero, how and you want to bring that into the fold, what will we compare her one to? Answer me that.
Wasn't ships coming to Portland before Miss Vaz?
Ah, boy.
No, answer that one.
Ship used to come before she was there, yes, but near the time that just before she came in, that had dried up.
I've seen the orange, guys. I've seen the orange.
No. Take it easy. We are go through it. In case you soon hand him over back to you. Let me just do this. I'm saying, before it had dried up before she came in, and it has been revived.
Yes,
so hold on. So that is now two things, because you said there was none, and I just presented two things. Here's my one question to you. All that you have stated, please give us factual references where your claims come from. That's all I'll ask.
What was all right? Since we're going to follow polls, the last.
That's not what I asked, my brother. My brother, respectfully, that's not what I asked. You made claims. One in specific is that there's disgruntlement with the youths because she never provide employment, which is not true. And now I'm asking you, where does your information come from? Give us factual references. It's that simple.
The poll. The last poll that was taken down there. I am not from Portland. I just listen media just like everybody else.
No, but you be selective with the information you get because you're making claims. You're making claims others don't hear. Because I'm getting information that youth are saying before Anne-Marie Vaz, when they leave high school, they couldn't wait to leave high school to get out of East Portland to go and look a job somewhere. Now they are staying in East Portland because more is happening.
Can I say a small thing to all that road thing
Where the damage. 1,000 life.
Casey, before you move on, let me just say this to you specifically, Casey. Ground has been broken at the Brown Brook, which would have provided employment. It seems it's only old people or the elder who gets work at the Brown Brook. The fixing up of the market, it seems only old people, get employment when the market are fixed up. The fixing of the roads also seems only old people get employment in that regard too. One other thing I wanted to add. Let me let somebody else. I think that's enough.
Yeah, Chavi, hear this though. And if
Wait.
I'll come down, man. Just tell me I say come down.
Having ground broken for Brandbrook. The ground, yes, the ground has been broken. Have any work start there?
I believe that's a question for yourself. You should really check that out.
No.
Having had this information, then you wouldn't ask that, because work has commenced and the property or the project is expected to be finished in 18 months, my friend. It seems you don't have the information, so let me give it to you. I'm giving the information to you. That's what I'm doing when you ask. Yes, sir. Work has commenced and the project will be finished in 18 months' time.
Thanks for the gift, guys. Thanks. Hey, Tari, good night. Just us here. I cleared it.
Chavi, let me tell you what I'm saying. As far as my eyes can see, you see any community where you see a lot of roads are being built,
one T, big up.
That only spell one thing: production. So the youth, them way, my boy, I worry about and I ask if sheep, what should do for the youth. You see those roads, when you see a bill, make it easy for people to commerce. And then people want to invest. When people want to invest, where you think your community upgrade. In America and all of these countries, why they build a road? Because that is where prosperity begins. That is where people don't understand in Jamaica. They ask a lot of times if a road can eat. Pretty much a road can eat, because the road create that pathway for you gain where you're supposed to get in a life.
Everything starts with the road.
Yeah, of course, the road. That is, listen, I'm going to tell you. Me live in New Jersey. And me take a train go to New York. I mean, I see the reason for them to build a new railroad. A new line, me say. But guess what? Them find them have enough for themselves and say, go ahead, so we need to put the next line, because guess what? The faster we get the people them across, the better for them. So road is a very key thing when it come on to prosperity and upgrade the country. So if Anne-Marie Vaz, if everybody that do what Anne-Marie Vaz do with all of those roads, over the years they get neglect. If them did fix properly, she wouldn't come in now and affair do them now. So now we'll come play down the thing like say boy building the road is something bad. It is something great, bro.
But brilliant through the league. And Mary Pass will win.
I hear your Casey. But Dean, I want to say this to you. Dean. You really spoke about roads just now and clarifying that, but I want to say this to you. Let us not speak as if the only thing Anne-Marie has done is roads. No, sir. She didn't just do roads.
That's true, my boy. I played the road
works. There are many other works.
I played the road thing like the road thing little, like it's a smart thing to do when you come onto the road. That's why I introduced the road part.
Okay, see, I have to leave now, yeah?
All right, big up, and don't be afraid to come back. That was league.
Hey, next thing too. Let me see. If you go on the ELJ website, if you go on the ELJ website, there, the local election. It is sure say Jamaica Labour Party win the local election. And who is responsible for talk, for give the result of the election? ELJ. Like, if ELJ say who win the election, who is everybody?
Dean Jenner.
What?
Dean Jenner, the people who come on here and say the PNP win the election, it's not that they don't know that the PNP didn't win. They just want to spread that narrative that the PNP win because their stupid leader. Oh, I want still tired not to call the leader of the PNP intellectually deranged because here I am, the stupid leader. Come the day after the election and say they didn't lose, and every one of them start to say PNP didn't lose the election.
Casey, on the night, and I will quote, "This win is for Michael Manley. This win is for Portia Simpson Miller." Those are the words of Mark Jefferson Morgan, not my words. End quote. You can't blame them. Their leader ran out to say that he won. And he...
I'm going to call Cliff Hughes tomorrow because this is Cliff Hughes' fault now. Cliff Hughes tell Mark Golding same win the election. And Mark Golding don't check the score all now.
It goes to show you, and it puts in question his decision making.
That's Jamaican girl.
Casey, it goes to show you.
Sorry, don't do it.
It puts in question his decision making capabilities because I mean everybody in Granny knows that the EOJ is the constituted body to administer elections in Jamaica. And the EOJ did not tell you are a winner. Nevertheless, there you are on the platform, jumping and prancing. Seemed drunk to me at the time, but hey, who am I to judge? And stated that win is for Manley and that win is for Portia. I find it also curious that he never said PJ. I wonder why.
And a PJ making rich, so. That's another story. Jamaica, I'll fix and let you know what.
Say that to the 250 people. I never me say that, and I say PJ making rich. But I hear you, Casey. I hear you.
Maybe it's not PJ. Maybe it's Dr. Omar Davis.
That me I say. Me don't even say Omar Davis.
Listen, all of them in on it. Every single one of them in on it. Come on, we know the truth in the
You know, Chavi said, people, I don't hear the media mention that at that time, Peter Bunting was a member of parliament. Peter Bunting was a member of parliament from 1993 to 1997, you know.
Jaja. And also, what do you call it now? Co-owner of DBNG.
The bank that presided over the FinSac.
Okay.
The bank
and
that Hear this one.
When Christian start after they sell it. When Christian start asking sell it.
But hear this one. No more hear this one because I don't hear many people with it, and it's important that I give you this information. Hopefully, maybe you have it in your arsenal and you don't remember it, but it is very important. That entity is the entity that the finance minister go through to sell assets to NHT. I don't know if you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Finance ministry use DBNG as the facilitator to sell assets to National Housing Trust.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Look here, Chav. While growing up, it's Ardley Shah was my MP. So that couldn't miss you.
see the people of Jamaica needs to know and understand things. It is quite serious that one government entity, government body, hired a bank and paid them millions, or an entity and paid them millions to transfer assets from one ministry to the next. Millions. This is funny. And here's another one. Here's another one. The finance ministry sold some assets to DBNG, who later sell it to NHT. Make it make sense. People of Jamaica, I tell us some wicked people. I don't have in front of no dance and sing and go on. You must know if you want to choose them.
Now when you see that man now, you see him two man about themselves now. We try to get them and panic up the reserve we have. And when you try to tell some people this thing, people think say why I like it, I like them. It's just a fact. These men come and they destroy our country already. We can't afford them to come and destroy it again. And that is a fact.
The next thing is
I see things to all per years fly past. Some of these things people don't really talk about them. So like the youth, them don't really understand what it is now, and them don't really try to get deep to try to find information. So when they hear something, you know, but really and truly we know say Mark Golding and Peter Bunting is too destructive person them to we can't afford them to come near National Reserve right now. They want to work the country. We can't work with that. We know that for a fact that they're going to do. Because if them out of power and them still have find means and ways to take taxpayer money, what you expect? You know what I show you? Because all ministry policy with them control, there's money problem. But that's simple to tell us.
KC, you stated something earlier. You say you love to be challenged. So, I have a challenge for you. I have a challenge for you. KC, I beg you to do me a favor, you see? It is often said that DBNG was a successful business. Please tell me what is their success? What did they do? That's my son. But what did they do that gave them this great success that they have? What groundbreaking initiative did these people come up with or executed that made them the success that people call them to be?
Let me put it this way. Darren Bunting and Golden was the vulture of the mid-1990s financial meltdown. You have a good liar, you want me to be clearer?
Hold on, I gotta say something else. All right, so I'm gonna give you get your challenge, KC. Now me have a challenge for everybody in the life. Let me look at the number 225 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 4 are on plus the host make 5. I challenge you all to go onto the Bank of Jamaica website and search up their balance sheet for the year. I want you to look at 96, 97, 98. I want you to look at their balance sheet and you got to dig deep into the businesses committed during that time. Well, let me tell you what you look for so you may be able to find it. Let me give you a clue. During the meltdown of the 1990s, there's a number of banks and financial institutions that was FINSA. The government of Jamaica only facilitated and bailed out one of them. One single one they did a special deal for, so that it can end up in the ownership of ABNP. After you find the information, ask yourself, why? Only one of all these financial institutions get this deal. Billy Craig is the name of the company. I'm not giving no more information.
the most lucrative 2.5 years in a bank history in the world, in the history of financing, in the history of banking, belong to DBNG at a time when the economy was collapsing. The banking sector was collapsing. One bank had the most lucrative 2.5 years in the history of banking worldwide. Make it make sense.
So isn't it ironic that during that time they were so perfectly poised and positioned to have Deering, Bunting and Golding, right? And then when you look at this time when they're trying to put themselves in position, they just have proven asset management and wealth and asset management perfectly positioned and waiting. But even more interesting than that, proven is failing everywhere. They have a location. They have just shuttered, I think, 1 or 2 within the Caribbean. I guarantee you that if y'all choose them, Proven will be making a comeback and will be dubbed a success going forward.
Yeah, man, most successful real estate company. Looking for the headlines 10 years down the line. And people need to watch those countries that they are investing in and watch which politician from those countries are heading to invest here. People don't miss a thing. I can also forecast corruption.
It's about time. It's about time you take the forecasting that far, Casey. It's about time.
Yes, sir. I have something to say about everybody who come up here and talking about Northeast Manchester and Val will win. Listening, I forecast it in favor of Val Wint and suggested he's leading out of respect for the politics because he have put in work over time when JLP had no candidate and was doing no work. So I'm trying to go by a guideline, which is the data I use to forecast, not necessarily what I think and know in my brain. Because
you know what I understand from it? You know what I understand from you doing that?
Yes.
You couldn't forecast for a win for an invisible candidate, a non-existing candidate.
Exactly. Now a party who have been doing no work on the ground.
Who would you have credited the win to? The ear?
Exactly. So the thing is, Northeast Manchester is fertile ground for the Jamaica Labour Party.
And I'll tell you this.
The
candidate is no walkover, ain't no fool, ain't no ordinary person.
Yes. And the people of Northeast Manchester have not fallen out of love with the Jamaica Labour Party. The PNP might have won 2 of those parish council divisions. But I want to tell some people who do not know that the PNP don't get to win those parish council division in parish council election because JLP really campaigned for them. But in a lot of those general election, when Northeast Manchester is won by Ardley Shaw, the PNP would have won those 2 parish council divisions in the parliamentary election. But Craighead carry more votes and a bigger margin. So the JLP normally win through Craighead. So nothing much have changed. The JLP won through Craighead again. And Christiana will be coming out for the JLP, whoever is the candidate.
KFC, I'm going to leave shortly. But before I go, I want to speak directly to the people of Jamaica. 214 and you here. And I want to tell you the choices before you clearly. agricultural minister, are you really going to trade Floyd Green for Dayton Campbell, who doesn't even have a seat as spokesperson and has not made a presentation in the sectorial debate in 3 years? Are you really going to trade Floyd Green for him? Are you going to trade Kamina Smith-Johnson as foreign minister for Angela Brownberg? At a time when there's global geopolitical wars, we have kept the position, rumors of wars, we have always kept the position of being neutral and not dip our fingers or toes in anything that does not benefit or concern us. We have operated with a high level of diplomacy. Are we going to trade Miss Johnson Smith for Angela Brownberg, who run go raise Palestinian flag, as if to say she's against and she is willing to pit Jamaica against Israel? Are we seriously going to do that? Are we
At 12 to 11 o'clock, this is going to be the wrap.
A close-up time. All right, sir. All right, sir. People of Jamaica, be smart. The choice is yours. And I say to you, choose Jamaica. Over and out. Thank you, neighbor, for having me.
Big up, Travis.
Blessings, blessings. Good night, everyone.
Until tomorrow, Guru, 100 Life, Casey.
On the family property.
Casey.
Come back.
Yes. Okay, what's it?
Yes, Kala. Yeah.
What is that? What is
Like her.
I know it's a place close to Canada from Salo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell guide girl, I said, aye.
I could tell from home, see the place.
Put out an APD on
Mitchell Town.
Yep. We should return to regular time tomorrow, Casey.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
Okay. You too, neighbor.
All right, listeners.
Good night, everybody.
What?
Sorry, it's bedtime, bro.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
It's not